Hello and welcome to my F1 25 driver career mode, here today for part 26 for the Dutch Grand Prix. We're back after the summer break. We are racing for the first time here at Zandvoort in reverse. So we come into qualifying now ahead of the Dutch Grand Prix into the final corner of Tarzan, which is the first corner, but round it we come up to the line, we cross it. That first lap is though only going to put us into P19, bit of a shocking lap. And now at the end of the session we've found a bit of time to put a wheel on the grass. We've found nearly 3 tenths, but we've lost a bit of time there, and we come round the final corner and up to the line, but it's going to be a pretty terrible lap and we're going to start P19. So this is the grid then ahead of the Dutch Grand Prix. On the front row of the grid is Sonny Hayes alongside Oscar Piastri. Then it's Piers and Kimi Antonelli, Ocon and Lewis Hamilton, Tsunoda and Max Verstappen at his home Grand Prix. Then it's George and Lando, Villeneuve and Carlos Sainz, Bortoleto and Behrman, Charles Leclerc and Liam Lawson, Albon and Nico Hülkenberg. We find ourselves alongside Lance Stroll in 19th, and on the final row of the grid are the 2 Alpines headed by Jack Doohan. So the cars make their way onto the grid now after the formation lap. It's looking like a fairly comfortable one-stopper today, unless it rains, but that's fairly unlikely. It's meant to just be overcast the entire race. So the 5 red lights come on here ahead of the Dutch Grand Prix. It's the second time this season we're racing backwards, and we're racing here at Zandvoort. We've got a fairly okay start. Now we just need to find a slipstream as we'll be going side by side with everyone. Through the banking we go now, off turn 1, side by side with the Sauber there of Hülkenberg, late on the brakes, try and get the Red Bull. We're trying to hold it at the inside. Lawson though dips the wheel onto the grass. We get him down the inside now with Bortoleto. Bortoleto has us back. We're trying to hold it down the inside. That's now going to turn to the outside line. Bortoleto takes a lot of curb though, and we get that overtake just about on Bortoleto. And now we're stuck slightly in a bit of a DRS train behind the Haas of Ocon, whose defence of Lando Norris comes to an end. The McLaren is through. This is George now on the back of Esteban Ocon, and he's going to go to the inside and he's going to get him there fairly comfortably, as in the background Albon is getting past the other Haas of Behrman, who we really need to try and overtake here, because Albon has gone, and down the inside at the banking we get the job done on Behrman, and hopefully we can get back down the road after Albon. The Haasties seem to be struggling so much in the opening stages of this race, and now we've caught the back of the queue, who up front is Ocon, behind him is our teammate Villeneuve, and we were just stuck here. It took lap after lap of trying, but finally we may have a go here on Albon, and we get the job done in the Williams. Finally that car is in the mirrors, and now we can get down the road now after Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, hopefully trying to go for a lunge down the inside. Have we got Leclerc? He's going to hold it around the outside. I think we're going to go back down the inside though, as he takes the racing line, and we've got 2 cars on 1 lap there after laps and laps of trying. Up the road next is the other Williams of Sainz, as Villeneuve finally finds a way to have a go at Ocon. Ocon though trying to hold it around the outside. I think Ocon has kept him behind, and now though we're going for a move, hopefully on Sainz. We're alongside Sainz. We're doing exactly what he did to his teammate, but now we're still side by side, and it's a drag race on the DRS straight into the next corner. Sainz backs out of it, and after finally finding a way past Albon, we've found a bit of pace now and found a bit of extra grip to find a way past us. Now this is Villeneuve having another go at Ocon, but now we are racing in the wings. Hopefully we're allowed to overtake him, but we're going to go for it anyway. Have a little look at the inside out of the banking, and we get the job done there on our teammate. And now finally we've kind of cut our way through the field in this DRS train, and it's just Ocon who remains in the DRS train at the head of it. We're going to go to the inside. We're going to be side by side through the banking, and we get the job done, and that puts us up into P9, into the top 10, after lap after lap after lap of trying. Lap 15, we finally find our way through the big Esteban Ocon train. And we pulled away, we pulled a second and a half to Ocon, but at the end of lap 16 we are going to pit to make our one and only stop of the day. If everything goes to plan, the sun has come out, heading down the pit lane now. Very tight pit exit now, and entry with it being backwards, but it's slow on the front left, and that might just ruin it. An awful pit stop, 4 seconds, and we've lost out to Ocon yet again. We've somehow stayed ahead of the Williams of Albon, but all that hard work of getting past, and we've been beaten out by Leclerc as well. The Ferrari's gone through, and that hard work has all come to nothing. We've now got 2 cars in front of us. Villeneuve, they stayed out, so he's still got a pit, but Leclerc was so hard to get past, and now we're back to square one, really, in this race. It took us so long to get through that DRS train, and now we're back to square one, trying to find a way past Leclerc and Esteban Ocon as we come under pressure from the Red Bull there of Lawson, but we fend him off. And now hopefully can get down the road after Leclerc, as this is Villeneuve, who is beating everyone out with the overcut. Lovely bit of strategy by Villeneuve there. So that's 3 places we've lost on just because of a bad pit stop. And now we skip on to lap 19 and we are just stuck. We can't find a way past Leclerc because of the DRS train. We just couldn't get the exit out of the final corner, and Leclerc now has been nursing away past the Haas of Ocon, and he re-overtakes there the Haas to take the place. And now we need to find a way past Ocon very quickly because we have the pace to get ahead of Leclerc. And now we're going for it down the inside. We catch Ocon napping, and now we can get down the road after the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc in this race, as this is Max Verstappen having a fairly decent home Grand Prix, or he was having a decent home Grand Prix, as he is slowing down. That Mercedes engine in the back of the Aston Martin has gone bang. So this just kind of turned into our race now. We couldn't quite get close enough to Leclerc to have a go. Lawson has found a way past Ocon, but we're still pulling away. We've got decent pace, just couldn't quite get close enough to Leclerc and been given the objective to overtake him. I mean, I don't know what Mark is really thinking we're doing here, but on lap 30, this is the closest we have got to overtaking Leclerc, but we're still going to have to wait going into that chicane. But at the end of lap 30, we're very close this time. We just couldn't get the exit out of the final corner, but this time we have. As we go down the straight, we pull to the inside, side by side through the banking. Have we got Leclerc? Yes, we have. He's trying to hold it round the outside. Finally, that Ferrari is in the mirrors, and we could get down the road after our teammate Villeneuve. And finally being past the Ferrari, we've left him, and we've caught our teammate back to the inside of the banking to try and take that place back that we lost in the pits. And we do get the job done on Villeneuve. Look at the pace we had in this race if it wasn't for being held up in traffic. As now Villeneuve dropped back into Ocon, who's had a late surge to re-overtake Lawson, Leclerc, and now our teammate, putting him out of the points. But up front, from pole position, Sonny Hayes rounds the final corner. After winning in Belgium in the sprint, he wins the Dutch Grand Prix ahead of his teammate Piers. It's an Apex 1-2, and it's going to be Lando Norris who comes home to round out the podium today here at Zandvoort. And we're catching Antonelli, but we've run out of laps, so we are going to round the final corner for what's been a pretty good but a pretty disappointing P9.
And then led every single lap of the race. It was a light to flag victory, and that is total dominance.
The top three drivers work so hard today, and they climb onto the podium.
So that's been your Dutch Grand Prix then, won by Sonny Hayes, leading every single lap as well of that one. And Apex won too, great day for them. Lando Norris rounds out the podium, but he's lost more points to Piers. Oscar Piastri was P4, with Lewis Hamilton rounding out the top 5. But for our race, we finally got through that pack. Then we had the bad pit stop, we were back in it, and we just could not find a way past Leclerc. We got him in the end though, and we still got 2 solid points in P9. And then down at the back, Max Verstappen was the one retirement today at his home Grand Prix, so it was Jack Doohan. He was the final finisher on the road today, a lap down. So this is what it means in terms of the Drivers' World Championship now. 24 points Piers has over Lando Norris. Another result going the Apex drivers' way. Sonny Hayes now just 30 points off of Piers, 6 points off of Lando, and we are still P4 in the drivers, ahead of Max Verstappen, 2 solid points pulling us further away. And then down at the back, you've still got the same drivers still yet to score, and it's still Bortoletto who is bottom of the table. So in terms of the constructors then, and a great 1-2 for Apex, means they extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship. The gap now 75 points back to McLaren, and it's looking pretty comfortable for them. Just 2 races to go this season, including the sprints in Brazil, and it's still Alpine who are still yet to score this season. So that's been your Dutch Grand Prix. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's a very fun track in reverse, especially the start going through the banking. But next time we go to another classic track when we go racing at Monza at the Temple of Speed for the Italian Grand Prix. I'll see you then. Goodbye.